Why do smart, successful people still feel unsure about retiring, even with a big balance? Most retirement mistakes aren't dramatic. They're quiet and they usually happen in your 50s. Think about it. You've spent decades building your savings, watching the balance grow, and doing all the right things. But when it comes time to actually retire, something feels off. You have a big balance, but you're not sure if you can actually retire. You saved well, but you don't know how to turn those savings into a reliable income. And you definitely don't have a plan for what happens when the markets don't cooperate. Here's what most people don't realize. These mistakes compound over time, and they don't feel like mistakes when they're happening. They feel like caution, like being responsible, like doing the smart thing. But years later, you look back and realize you waited too long, paid too much in taxes, or worse, you're still guessing about whether you'll actually be okay. I'm PJ Gibbs, a certified financial planner, and I work with people in their 50s and early 60s as they transition from saving to retirement income. What I'm going to share today isn't about extreme cases or financial disasters. It's about high earners with blind spots, people who've done everything right but still don't have clarity, confusing a big balance with readiness. Let's start with the most common mistake I see. One client came to me with $1.8 million saved and still froze every time the market dropped. You look at your retirement account balance, maybe it's $800,000, maybe it's $1.5 million, and you think, that feels safe, and it is a lot of money. But here's what the number doesn't tell you. How much income it can actually produce. Can it generate $60,000 a year? $100,000? For how long? What happens if market drops 20% in your first year of retirement? According to BlackRock's Read on Retirement survey, 64% of savers feel on track, but 66% worry they'll run out of money. That's not a contradiction, that's confusion. A big balance doesn't mean a sustainable income. Savings are necessary, but they're not sufficient. They're a tool. And if you don't know how to use that tool, it doesn't matter how big it is. The second mistake is assuming your retirement income is a fixed number. You run a calculator online, it tells you to withdraw 4% every year. You think, okay, I need $80,000 a year, so I need $2 million saved. And then you spend the next 5 years stressing because you're at $1.3 million and the target feels impossible. One prospect told me, I feel behind every single day, even though we're saving aggressively. But here's the problem. It treats income like it never changes. Markets fluctuate, your spending changes, healthcare goes up, travel goes down. Research from the Center for Retirement Research shows retired households cut spending about 1.5% every year. Spending doesn't stay flat, it adjusts. When you treat income as a fixed number, you ignore flexibility. You create a rigid plan that breaks the first time something unexpected happens. What you need instead is a range, a framework that lets you adjust based on real life. Here's the third mistake. Confusing gross income with net income. One couple thought they needed $100,000 a year to retire. After taxes, they actually needed closer to $120,000 and had never planned for it. Where's your income coming from? Traditional IRA, Roth IRA, brokerage account, Social Security? Every source is taxed differently. What you keep matters more than what you withdraw. If you pull from the wrong accounts at the wrong time, you don't just pay more in taxes, you lock yourself into higher tax brackets, possibly for decades. Big balances don't fix bad tax decisions. Here's the fourth mistake. Assuming your investments will just figure it out. During your working years, a market downturn was annoying. In retirement, it's a crisis. One retiree told me, I'm not afraid of the market, I'm afraid of making the wrong move. When you sell during a downturn to fund spending, those losses become permanent. That sequence of returns risk. Selling the seed corn. Alignment matters. Your portfolio needs to match what you're actually trying to do with it. Investments should support decisions, not dictate them. The fifth mistake is having no framework for what to do when things don't go according to plan. If the market drops 20% in your first year of retirement, what do? Most people don't know because they've never built the rules. And without a framework, decisions become emotional. This is why income guardrails exist. They give you clear boundaries for when to adjust and by how much, not because the market says so, but because your plan says so. All 5 mistakes come from the same root problem: static thinking, lack of coordination, and no decision framework. That's the difference between guessing and knowing. So what should you do instead? Retirement planning is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Decisions matter more than predictions. You don't need a perfect plan. You need clarity. Answer these 3 questions. How much income do I need? Where is it going to come from? And what do I do when things change? If you can answer those, you're ready. And if you can't, then you're just guessing. That's where the retirement readiness scorecard comes in. It shows you where you're exposed so you know what to fix first. Because clarity beats guessing every single time. Most of these mistakes are common and fixable. You're not behind, you're not broken, you just need structure. If you're in your 50s or early 60s and want to know where your real gaps are, start with the Retirement Readiness Scorecard. It takes just a few minutes to complete and shows you exactly what needs attention. You'll find the link below. And if you're ready for a real conversation, schedule a call with our team at Trello Wealth. We'll walk through your numbers, your goals, and your options so you can move into retirement with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Because clarity beats guessing.